In a stunning development that reverberates through the corridors of power, Germany, the economic powerhouse of Europe, has taken an audacious step to join BRICS, a move that threatens to upend the foundations of the global economic landscape. As one of the driving forces behind the European Union and a key ally of the United States, Germany's decision to align itself with the emerging BRICS alliance sends shockwaves across continents. Guys, join me as we look into the potential consequences of Germany joining BRICS, ushering in a groundbreaking shift in the balance of power, trade dynamics, and global economic governance. So, brace yourself as we unravel the implications of Germany's momentous choice, a move that could spell a new era and potentially spell the end for the US and EU economies as we know them. First, why is Germany joining BRICS? Germany has a long history of being one of Europe's top economies and a major player in the world economy. Germany has had several difficulties recently, including a shrinking population and more competition from other nations, and its economic growth has slowed down. Germany may support economic growth and development in these nations by imparting its knowledge and technology to other EU members. Germany also has a strong commitment to sustainable development and environmental protection. Germany may be able to significantly benefit the BRICS group in this sector, which is becoming more important for many nations throughout the world. Germany might gain access to new markets and new sources of investment by joining BRICS, which could support its economic growth. Since it has a robust industrial foundation with an emphasis on engineering and manufacturing, other BRICS members who are trying to establish their industrial sectors could find this interesting. Another possible advantage is the increase in collaboration on topics like infrastructure development and technology transfer, since Germany has a proven track record in each of these fields, and by imparting its knowledge and technology to other EU members, it may aid in fostering economic growth and development in those nations. Furthermore, the BRICS member nations might aid in resolving some of the most urgent global concerns currently facing the world by cooperating on matters like environmental preservation and sustainable development. This may involve problems like biodiversity loss, water scarcity, and climate change. Now, what kind of issues may arise from Germany joining the BRICS? There might be possibility of tensions within the bloc as a result of Germany's participation in BRICS. This can be a potential disadvantage, as there could be a conflict between Germany and other members of the EU, for instance, which could result from disagreements over matters like trade policies or environmental rules. And another potential disadvantage could be the possibility of Germany's accession weakening the bloc's concentration. By including a big nation like Germany in the mix, the BRICS Union may lose sight of its initial objective of allowing collaboration among emerging economies. The European Union, of which Germany is a prominent member, would be significantly impacted by Germany's probable membership in BRICS. There will be worries that Germany's membership in BRICS will cause Germany to turn its attention away from the EU, thus leading to tensions between the two economic blocs. Another issue is the possibility of a difference in economic strategies between Germany and the rest of the EU as a result of Germany's membership in BRICS. Germany might also decide to pursue policies that are more in line with the objectives of the BRICS group, which might lead to conflicts with other EU members that place a different emphasis on the economy. Additionally, other EU member states may have the opportunity to forge stronger commercial links with BRICS nations as a result of Germany's membership in the group, which can lead to other EU members seizing the chance to forge tighter commercial connections with China, India, or other BRICS nations if Germany were to join the group. What consequence can Germany have on the EU by joining the BRICS? Germany's membership in BRICS might have a big influence on EU foreign policy as another potential consequence. The EU has long been a major influence on international economic policies, and the promotion of multilateralism and cooperation has been a key component of its foreign policy. Germany might play a leading position inside the bloc if it were to join BRICS, which could potentially lead to a new dynamic in global economic and foreign policy. When coordinating its foreign policy and making sure that its interests are properly reflected on the international stage, it could offer difficulties for the EU. But there might also be chances for the EU to collaborate with BRICS more closely on problems like climate change, economic growth, and security. For instance, the EU and BRICS may collaborate to advance sustainable development and green energy, or to handle shared security issues like terrorism and cybercrime. The EU and BRICS may potentially do more together than they could separately, which would ultimately be advantageous to both blocs. It is also important to note that Germany's potential participation in BRICS may have an impact on how the EU interacts with other world powers like the US and Russia. On economic and international policy matters, the EU has historically sided with the US, but recently, tensions have arisen because of divergent views on subjects like trade and climate change. The world's economic and foreign policy landscape may change if Germany joined BRICS, which might bring up tensions already present between the EU and the US. Similarly to this, Germany's participation in BRICS may cause friction with Russia, another member of the organization. Due to disagreements over matters like Syria and Ukraine, ties between the EU and Russia have been tense in recent years. The inclusion of Germany in BRICS could aggravate these tensions. The EU may find it more challenging to collaborate with Russia on matters of mutual interest as a result. The United States, one of the major economic and political forces in the world, would be affected by Germany's probable membership in BRICS. Germany and the EU have always viewed the US as an ally, and the two countries have collaborated closely on a variety of economic and political concerns. However, if Germany were to join BRICS, it might be able to bring about new economic and political dynamics that could have an impact on the US. The potential shift in economic dominance towards BRICS at the expense of the US would be one of the primary concerns for the US. A major chunk of the world's population and economy are represented by the BRICS bloc, and the inclusion of Germany would only make this bloc stronger. This might result in a transfer of economic dominance away from the US and towards BRICS, which might have effects on the US economy and its standing in the global arena. Also, the US foreign policy may face difficulties as a result of Germany's probable inclusion in BRICS, particularly about topics like trade and climate change. The US has historically viewed multilateral agreements like the Paris Agreement and the Trans-Pacific Partnership with skepticism and has adopted a more unilateral stance on these problems. But if Germany were to join BRICS, it might change the nature of international economic and political cooperation, making it more challenging for the US to pursue its foreign policy objectives. Additionally, conflicts between the US and its traditional allies in Europe may arise as a result of Germany's probable inclusion in BRICS. We'll love to know what you think about Germany's probable alliance with BRICS in the comment section below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button to see more of this video. Thanks for watching.